Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this Friday's edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody. I'm joined alongside my good friend and co-host, Tony Stapita. Happy Friday. It is week 8 of the NFL season as the Chicago Bears take on the San Francisco 49ers at Soldier Field this Sunday, October 31st. Ooh, spooky, very spooky game. What's spooky about it? Robert Quinn's back. What's also spooky is that Khalil Mack is out, most likely. And this could be the game that Justin Fields finally breaks out. Who knows? We'll find out in a minute. But Tony, Justin Fields, breakout game, could it happen? I don't know.
I mean, if it's going to happen, maybe not, just because if we're going to really go just by his stats, everything on paper, I don't know if this will be it. I think it will be because I'm just an eternal optimist, especially when it comes to Justin Fields. So I guess we'll kind of get into the stats here, and I'll tell you what I think actually is going to be a real it's really going to break out. So first we'll start with the Niners defensive rating. So this is going to be a little Bears offense versus Niners defense. The Bears or the Niners defensive ranking overall, 6th overall, pretty good. I will say, the stats tell a different story. I think they stink overall. That's going to be a theme. You'll find out. My eye test, they do not pass. Their rushing is 19th overall. The rushing defense, their passing is 5th. So that's why, maybe it's just something that I didn't notice, where their passing defense is a lot better than I expected, but their rushing defense is trash. And that's something I definitely noticed. Khalil Herbert is going to run all over him, I think. The Bears offensive ranking. So, we'll get into these. Overall, 32nd, last in the league. And, you know exactly what's dragging that down. It's the passing. They have about just over 800 yards, net passing yards through 8 weeks. That's terrible. That's just it. That's terrible. It's the worst. That's
with like 2 different quarterbacks.
It's the worst stat I've ever heard. With 2 different quarterbacks. Their rushing is 5th overall. So and their passing is 32nd, obviously. But their rushing is 5th overall. So that's where I think they're going to have a big breakout game again, actually, for rushing, because they've been doing it the last couple of weeks. They went against the number 1 rushing defense last week and racked up over 125 plus rushing yards. You know what that means. Run the damn ball.
If Ken Ross is listening, he's going to grab his hat and be like, yes, run the damn ball. No, when you were saying that, the Bears the rushing ranking is up 2 spots from last week. It was 7th last week. It's 5th this week. And there's no David Montgomery in that picture still. So the fact that it's rising with rookie Khalil Herbert, who has been an absolute stud, he is the first running back in the last 2 seasons besides Dalvin Cook to rush over 100 yards against the Bucs. At home, too, in Tampa Bay. That's just I think the Bears offense is going to do fine against the Niners, but Justin Fields has to have that breakout game. He has to have a breakout game. He still hasn't had one. His LA Rams game was more exciting because obviously he didn't do anything. But again, he's been running for his life. He's been doing all that other stuff. Our offensive line ranking interior-wise is fine. I mean, James Daniels and Cody Whitehair are still some of the best guards in the league. Sam Mustipher, though, is trash. This year, he is absolute trash. I know, Tony, you like Notre Dame, and I liked Sam Mustipher a lot last year. But, Bears got some news coming. Jason Peters is just opening up all the news to everybody, saying how Larry Borum's coming back this week potentially, and Tevin Jenkins is starting to practice again. So, but I'm excited for this Bears offense. I'm excited for this week because it's at home. It's Trey Lance potentially versus Justin Fields. This is the week I predicted Justin Fields was going to get the nod to start. And it's a warm October game. 54 degrees as of right now. So it could be a good game. But, overall, I'm more nervous, low key, about the rush defense this time around for the Bears. And we're gonna switch it to Bears defense versus Niners offense. Why am I saying that? Because you don't have Khalil Mack, and you potentially don't have Akiem Hicks. You do have Robert Quinn back, which is great, but missing Mack and Hicks, kind of scary because Bilal Nichols hasn't been the same this year. Eddie Goldman hasn't been the same this year. Travis Gibson was hot and he was cold against the Bucs. So I'm just going to go into the quick rankings real fast. 49ers offensive ranking, 12th in the rush, 19th to pass, or 19th overall offense. So a little bit behind in the pack. I mean, they're middle of the pack offense, so not too bad. But I don't think stats show that. I mean, Niners kind of stink. I think they just are lucky with a few big plays, but the Niners stink just as bad as the Bears. And you go to the Bears defensive ranking, Bears are ranked 22nd, rushing defense, which that dropped significantly without Robert Quinn and Akiem Hicks last week. But we are the 8th passing defense, which is crazy because everyone was so worried about the secondary earlier in the season. Kyle Fuller also is absolute trash. He's getting shopped around in Denver right now. So Ryan Pace saw something what we didn't do. We are overall 11th. We have dropped 4 spots, but we also did play the number 1 ranked offense last week. So, overall, I think that, the Bears defense, against this run, it could be something to be worried about. They're 12th ranked running team, but, Roquan Smith, who's ranked 5th in the league in tackles with 75, that's fine. I mean, he's definitely showing everybody he deserved a Pro Bowl last year. He deserved an All-Pro last year. Could be in talk to Defensive Player of the Year if he keeps it up and he gets even better. But Trey Lance is questionable. That's big for the Bears. George Kittle is out. That's big for the Bears. But again, that's like our pass is not what we have to worry about. It's our rush. So I don't know. A little nervous about the Bears defense right now, not having Khalil Mack and Akiem Hicks.
Yeah, I am worried about that for sure. I do think that last week it really sticks in our mind, obviously, because they gave up a ton of points, and it seemed like the Buccaneers were scoring at will. But you got to remember at the start of that game too. I mean, the field position that the Buccaneers were starting with, again, the best offense in the league. Tom Brady, Super Bowl winning champ,
best offensive tackles. Best
exactly. Like it was such a just set up to fail kind of situation. So I do think they're gonna have a bounce back week. I kind of do think they got to play like they did against the Bengals, and that was week 2 when they were just picking off. It's gonna be Jimmy Garoppolo right this week, so they're picking him off left and right.
It could be Trey Lance though.
It could be Trey Lance. Yeah, the Niners are weird. I think they're
like the Bears.
I really think they stink. I know. Yeah, they really are. That's a great point, actually. Yeah, I think they stink. The only thing I will say is I do agree with you about being a little worried about the rush defense, just because Kyle Shanahan, he's been getting some heat for kind of being maybe his methods aren't working as much. He was this, this genius, this young creative genius, and now it's kind of looking a little silly now that it's not working. He's always been great at dialing up a phenomenal, run blocking schemes and stuff. So I am a little worried about that with Mack and Hicks potentially being out. So I do agree with you there.
Do you realize that, earlier you said they kind of do sound like the Bears, and you made them sound like the Bears even more? Young head coach, offensive minded, was supposed to turn it all around. Gee, that sure sounds like someone we know named Matt Nagy coming in.
Well, that's the point. I know they stink then. That's exactly. It's like looking in a mirror and be like, that guy's ugly. It's like, I already know I'm ugly. It's okay. Yeah, I can say that.
So before we I think that's a good transition into who's in and who's out for this upcoming week. As of right now at 12:52 p.m. Central Time. So Tony, before we dive into it, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Stupid Car Tray.
Yeah, Stupid Car Tray always saves the day. It's great for keeping your seat safe from grease and crumbs. Pizza level and secure, and while sitting on the couch while you watch the Bears play the Lions or the 49ers or the Bucks, whoever they're playing this week. So use code J16, JAY16 at checkout to get to 16% off your entire order. So, Nick, let's kind of break down quick news from both sides of the balls. What you got for the Chicago Bears injury report?
And also for Stupid Car Tray, I guess they have free shipping all weekend right now. Spooky free shipping. Ooh, yeah. And
that's the only thing not spooky about it. Free shipping, I'll take that.
Yeah, and it's made right in Illinois, and they ship it out same day as order. So it's pretty cool. It's a couple guys just being dudes that decided to start something. So super, yeah. I'd go and get it. And the reason why we sent the Lions is because we play the Lions around Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to eat, you don't want to leave the couch, you want to eat half a turkey. Boom, there you go. So let's go to quick news on both sides of the ball in regards to injury updates. Robert Quinn and Elijah Wilkinson were cleared today to play this Sunday against the 49ers. So we have a veteran offensive lineman coming back, Robert Quinn coming back, who arguably is much healthier overall. I mean, minus testing positive for COVID. He's back. He says he feels great. He's been healthier than Khalil Mack this year. So hopefully Robert Quinn can make some, life hell. And, I'm just going to hit on one of yours really fast, Tony. Trent Williams is questionable for this upcoming Sunday. So, Robert Quinn could have a field day. That's all I got to say. But happy to hear that him and Elijah Wilkinson are off of the COVID list. That's always good to hear. Larry Borum is off of IR. He could be coming back this week. Jason Peters might be like, give me my I gave up a bunch of sacks and I was still considered your best tackle. Let the kid play, so super excited to hear that. Taishan Gibson Sr., who Tony and I are big fans of, is questionable with a hip injury again. It went from groin to hip to shoulder to hand. He's always got something going on, but he usually ends up playing through it. And then Akiem Hicks is questionable with a groin injury. We really hope he's back this week, but if he isn't, this is the good week for him to rest. And Khalil Mack is 99% likely out due to his foot injury. The Bears wanted him to heal up. So, and as Matt Nagy's on COVID protocol, and he might not be coaching this Sunday. Who knows? Who knows who's going to be? That's why I'm saying Justin Fields could have a breakout game. That's all I got to say to that, because everything goes through Matt Nagy. It's not entirely Bill Lazor's fault. Just wanted to throw that out there. Tony, 49ers injuries.
Yeah. Real quick on Matt Nagy. He's totally going to clear protocol and just be like, don't worry, guys, I made it to the game. And everyone's going to be like, yeah. Obviously, happy he's okay and everything. Again, it's not about him as a person, but as a bad football coach. And that's it. So San Francisco, bad play caller. Yes, that's true. Good football coach, bad play caller. San Francisco 49ers injury report. So George Kittle is still on the IR with his calf injury. Running back Jeff Wilson Jr. out with a knee injury. Trey Lance is questionable with the knee injury. So I do think we're going to get, it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo no matter what, just because Chicago product.
Hometown kid.
Absolutely. Offensive lineman. Trent Williams is questionable, like you mentioned, Nick. So it's some interesting injuries. It's not enough for me to be like, oh, guaranteed, like they have no one to compete with the Bears, but there's some holes, there's some holes in their armor. And I think it's definitely something we can take advantage of. And speaking of things we need to do to take advantage of it, let's get into the 3 keys to the game. So I'll kick it off. So the offensive line, they just got to be moderately competent this week after last week. And I think they will. I think the Bucs, again, are just a totally different level than what we are. I think that was kind of like that Browns game or that Rams game where it was just, they're just so much better than us. Bad game, get out of your system. Can't be allowing strip sacks on the second play of the game. I think they bounce back. Thoughts on strip sacks on the second play of the game?
No,
bad.
just that was so pathetic. Like that's when, like, I mean, I told you that I already threw the hat in when we decided we won the coin toss and decided to receive. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be hell today. It's Cleveland all over again. So that's all I had to say to that. All I had to say to that.
Yeah. So my second key to the game, feed Khalil Herbert. I know we said it a little bit before, but he's been a top 3 running back. Top 3 running back since his first start a few weeks ago. He's a playmaker. Let him make plays. He runs hard. He's been awesome. Like there's nothing like I saw a Yahoo fantasy update because he's on my team, not a big deal. Like 44,000 people have dropped Khalil Herbert this week because I think whether it was Damian Williams was back or because they were playing the Bucs.
But he's not starting. Damian Williams is not starting.
Exactly. Yeah. So I immediately sent it to a couple buddies and said, 44,000 idiots out there. And I was right. He got 11 points. So just keep feeding him. He's just going to help. He's only going to help Justin Fields open up the field. So last thing, if you've heard this one before, maybe use a tight end. I don't know. Who am I? Who am I to say? I do feel like I'm going crazy every single week that I say this. Like, I don't know if the tight end position still exists. Are they allowed to go out for passes? Am I missing something? I don't know. Nick, do your thing.
No, absolutely. No, they have to use the tight end this week. They have to use the tight end.
Oh, they'll totally do it, I'm sure.
No, because if Nagy doesn't clear protocol, which again, I hope he's okay as a human being, but if he takes a week off, no one's upset about it. If you have Jimmy Graham, you have Jesse James, you have Cole Kmet, use them. I mean, yes, Cole Kmet had a huge opportunity to get like 20 yards last week, and he ran right into his run blocker, which was stupid. But again, like he's 23, 24 years old. Still inexcusable. He's not a rookie anymore, but he's still young. So I guess the excuse, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just use tight end. I'm just going to go in. Speaking of using the tight end, I'm just going to go with my first one. Justin Fields needs to have a big day. Throw it to the tight end. Oh my gosh. Good things happen when you throw it to the tight end. You know who had our most receiving touchdowns last year? Jimmy Graham, our tight end. Just make it work in the red zone. Just do it. Go. I don't care. Justin Fields has to have a big day though. Ball out. I have a feeling that he can do it this week. He's got Larry Borum back potentially. He's got Elijah Wilkinson for sure back, so he's going to have more run block protection in theory. But overall, use your feet, Justin. Run. You have 4.44 speed. You don't have potentially Matt Nagy screaming in your ear to go out and be like, hey, stay in the pocket. No, run, go. But make sure you slide, please. Stop taking tackles. Like, it's really annoying, and every single time my heart stops. So overall, with that, and then number 2, we need takeaways. The defense needs to get back to being a takeaway machine. So Sean Desai, you've done a really good job of being the number 1 leader in sacks, which is great. Good job. You're getting pressure on the quarterback. You need to get Eddie Jackson. You need to get Duke Shelley. You need to get anyone else that's playing defensive back for the Chicago Bears to be aggressive with the ball and go after it. I would rather gamble than not. Tony, you're about to say something, aren't you?
Jermaine Ifedi 2 minutes ago was placed on the COVID-19 list. I don't know.
He's out anyway, though.
Was he?
Yeah, he's been out for the last couple of weeks. Well, I hope he's okay.
I thought he was supposed to come back. Okay. I thought he was supposed to come back this week. I thought that was why that was big news. All right. Scratch that. Everyone, delete that from your brains. Doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding.
We hope he gets better. We hope he gets better.
Of course.
Was it close contact or was it positive?
He was placed on reserve /COVID-19. That's the tweet.
Usually means you're positive.
It was like 1 minute ago. I don't know anything else.
Well, yeah. We usually have our phones out just in case any breaking news happens. Yep. I just got that notification too. Okay. So we need takeaways. We need help. We need to make sure the San Francisco offense loses confidence. The defense gets more mojo without Khalil Mack there and potentially Akiem Hicks. Overall, just get the ball. I feel like we haven't had an interception in 2-3 weeks now. And the Bears are known for that. That's what Sean Desai should be doing. So overall, go after that. And then finally, I know I've been hard on this all day. Run an actual NFL offense. If Matt Nagy is not there, go ahead, do whatever, because whatever you want to do will definitely work out better than what we've been doing for the last 8 weeks. We're almost halfway through the season, and we still don't have an established offense. And everyone's like, oh, they're warming up. Stop warming up. Go out and play. Run an actual NFL offense. Tony, did something else happen?
They announced the captains, too, if you care. It's Alec Ogletree, Marquise Goodwin, and you know how to say this one. I don't. Joel
Ibuniwe.
Yup, there it is. Those are the captains,
so many
baby.
Times. Okay, I hate this. I said this in the last episode. I hate that we do new captains every week. Hate it. So stupid. Just make real captains for people to go after and people to talk. Overall, that's what I got to see. But back to run screens, one play action, runs. I don't care. Expose Matt Nagy is the issue. Have him fired after this week. Let him get his paycheck for the rest of the year at least. And then let someone else take over. So that's my 3 keys to the game. Score predictions. Let's go into really fast. Bears need to get back to 500. No Matt Nagy, no problem. Bears win 21-17. It's going to be another close game. Unfortunately, it's the offense that we deal with. Unless Khalil Herbert has 5 touchdowns. And if he has 5 touchdowns, and I'm just saying that randomly, we'll give away another jersey. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe, tell other people that. But if Khalil Herbert has 5 touchdowns, we will give away probably a Khalil Herbert jersey. We'll get our hands on one or something. But Tony, score prediction.
Yeah, Bears 31-20. I think they beat them up pretty good in Chicago. 49ers stink hard. I've officially come to that conclusion. Shout out Jimmy G, though, Rolling Meadows product, Mid-Suburban League, Eastern Illinois legend, works out at Lifetime Fitness over by Rolling Meadows all the time in the offseason. Doesn't matter. Still going to lose. Happy to have him back in town, but Bears are going to roll. And we're back to 500, baby.
Let's get to 500, and then we'll start looking. Things might start going up for us. So with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. Happy Friday, and we will see you guys Sunday night.